Hello, we are back with AUB's Innovation Park on Virgin Radio. My name is Arthur. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Lemonade Fashion and the entrepreneur in residence of AUB's Innovation Park. The reason why we're here week after week after week is because we believe that entrepreneurship plays such a huge role in our everyday life. Everything around us, from the phone that we use to any other device, at some point was a crazy idea, but a crazy person came and was like, you know what? I have a dream to turn this into a reality, and guess what? All of our lives now are so much better. So if you have an idea to turn your idea into a successful business and you don't know where to get started, this is the perfect show for you, because my aim is to introduce you to the best people around the world, to the investors, to the CEOs, to the entrepreneurs that have done this before. On today's show, we have a very special guest. His name is Antoun. He is the Vice President of Investments for IM Capital. So if you want money, you need to listen to the show. Antoun, do you want to say hi very quickly?
Hi, Arthur. How are you? Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So as always, this show is brought to you by Talal and Madiha Zein AUB Innovation Park. Make sure to download the Virgin Radio app so you can listen to this entire show, and we'll be back after these songs. We're back with AUB's Innovation Park on Virgin Radio. I have Antoun with us, who is the Vice President of Investments for IM Capital, which is part of the USAID program, correct?
Exactly, Arthur. So,
how much money are you going to give us?
Oh, you have to earn it.
There's always a catch, no? Always a catch.
You know it very well, Arthur. You are an entrepreneur yourself. You are very well aware of the bumpy road that it takes to fundraise and to get money from a VC firm. Yeah.
But thankfully, you guys are here because you make it a bit easier for everyone.
We have to actually. We are one of the last men standing. So in Lebanon, as a VC, as a venture capital firm, but we are very keen on keeping this ecosystem alive, and we want to keep it standing. So this is why we are trying to make as much impact as possible on this.
And you're doing a great job. So how big is the fund right now?
So IM Ventures, which is like the new program of IM Capital, which was the previous one. IM Ventures is a program that is funded by USAID. It's a $40 million program. It's been there since 2019, like during the crisis. We got the money during the crisis. We've been deploying it into thematic funds. We did the Save Our Startups Fund in the middle of the crisis, to help those startups grow instead of dying here, and help them like get new market share and acquire presence abroad, to help them survive and grow again.
That's so cool. So after these songs, let's talk about what does it take to become an entrepreneur?
That's a very large question. Yeah, exactly.
Hello, we're in the songs, Dio. Hello, نسمع Katy Perry.
Yeah, okay. إذا لازم غير شيء قولوا لي.
No, you're good. إذا لازم نغير أصلاً من اللايف.
All right, lane 3.
So this is AUB's Innovation Park with Virgin Radio. My name's Arthur. I have Antoun with me, the Vice President of Investments for IM Capital. Antoun, what are some of the common traits that you've seen in entrepreneurs? Because I know that investors always say we don't invest in the company, we invest in the founders.
Yeah, exactly. So again, this is like a cliche sentence.
We like cliche.
Yeah, exactly. But still, this is entirely true, okay? Especially in seed startups and early stage startups. So like there are a lot of characteristics of the founder. It's not about the resume. It's about why did they found the startup. It's like the eureka moment that led them to founding this idea and establishing it. But about the team, there are so many characteristics. They should be like big players, hitters, competition, killer instincts, so many characteristics.
Because basically you want to make sure that, so we know that things are going to go wrong, right? It's like Mike Tyson used to say, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to get punched a lot. So what investors usually want to make sure of is that, can you handle the punch? Can you recover? Can you strike back?
We've had so many punches, especially here in Lebanon, but
we always strike back.
We have to, so there's no straight line to the finish line here. Those entrepreneurs have to be able to adapt to the changes and pivot whenever you have to.
So I recently started doing some angel investment, and then what I do is that every time I meet an entrepreneur, I punch them in the face, and then I see what happens.
Okay, that's not bad. We try to get to know them.
Awesome. Let's listen to some Katy Perry. This is Innovation Park with AUB, with Virgin. My name is Arthur. I'm the co-founder of Lemonade Fashion and the entrepreneur in residence of AUB's Innovation Park. The reason why I do this is because entrepreneurship is really cool, but it's not easy. And Antoun, you have supported a lot of startups, right? We talked a bit about the characteristic, but what are some of the mistakes you've seen people make?
Yeah. So going back to about supporting a lot of startups, I tried myself to build a startup once. I know it's not a walk in the park. I had to let it go initially, so overwhelming, very, very hard to do, and you have to be very passionate about it, exactly. So the biggest mistake, again, would be something I'm sure you've heard about. It would be what I've read once. You could call it like the dog design, okay? So if you know, like, why do dogs chase their tails? Because they can. So why are we building this product? Because we can. This is like the number one mistake. You have to build what the market wants. It's not, you don't have to be very attached to your solution or to your product. You have to really look into the market, know what they want, know what the customers want, because they're the only one who can fire you, actually.
Yeah, so tackle the problem, not the solution.
Tackle the
Be problem-oriented,
exactly,
not
exactly.
solution-oriented.
That's it.
And the bigger the problem is, the bigger your company, right? So the bigger problem you're solving in the market, the bigger of a company you can build, because there's going to be a lot more demand for it.
That's true.
And the bigger the problem, the harder it gets.
Of course, but you could go step by step. Like, you don't have to build like a full tailored solution for everything with all the features in it from day one. You have, because it's gonna change.
You start small,
Yep.
you validate,
Exactly.
and then that's how you keep on building, right?
Exactly.
So with every step that you take,
and you go back to ideation at every time.
So every single time is, I have a hypothesis, I think this is the problem, this is how I think I can fix it. And then before even developing or writing a single line of code, the best thing that you can do is create a prototype, test it already in the market, and then validate
maybe it won't work, and you have to go back again.
Well, you said
and rebuild
tailored,
it.
and now all I can think about is Taylor Swift. So we're going to be back with some Taylor Swift.
Is that we support the founders. Like, I'm not saying we do the job, okay? I'm saying we support them. We kind of like give them the access to the network, help them really demystify certain aspects, help them fundraise, help them go into a certain market, connect them to people. This is like the most exciting part of the job, especially after the investment is done and after doing those big deals of funding. So this is what keeps us going.
That is so cool. So if you're listening to this, raising capital is one of the big steps in becoming a successful startup, because sometimes, especially if you're building something very innovative, you need capital to be able to go faster. And AUB and IM Capital actually help you do that very well. So Antoun, how do people actually connect with you?
Okay, so usually we are out there. Okay, we are present in all of those events. We are present in all of those.
That's where we met. We met in a
exactly.
IPark event.
Yeah, exactly. We met at. I was a jury at one of the IPark sprints.
And I was just making inappropriate jokes on stage.
The entrepreneur residence joke. What was it?
Yeah, the EIR. You guys can guess what it stands for.
Yeah, but Arthur, I know
me.
you from Smart ISA as well, if you remember. So it was at the time where I tried to come up with an idea and make and execute it. So you were like the star there. At that
See,
time.
that made my day, but Lara's going to kick our asses right now, so we're going to be back after these songs. I can say ass.
Kick our butt.
لا أنا I remember very ما في فينا نقول smart إذا okay. But I remember clearly you were like the star, and who knows what's going on. I was coming from a banking perspective. My wife is a consultant. I wasn't into investment at that time. With smart إذا like brainwashed me. Reframed me. I was a totally different person after
it
those
was a
6
cool
months.
program.
Exactly.
Smart?
This is link 6.
منيح بدنا ريكورد هذا رامي ابو جوده طلع عنا على الراديو شو كوريان.
Hey, we have people from all the
ايه
different programs.
شفت رامي وكورين.
Yeah. Right, so Antoun, how do people connect personally with you? So I'm a startup, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't just want money, I also want advice. I want to connect with the right people. So we're trying to do that a lot with AUB, but you're also trying to do that. So if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way? LinkedIn, Instagram, Tinder, Bumble, what is it?
Yeah, LinkedIn sure is a good way, but definitely on our website, they could always apply for funding.
So that is IM Capital.
It's I am funding the brand name, so under it there's IM Capital and IM Ventures. And
Okay,
all
so if they
those
just
programs.
Google IM Funding Lebanon,
Exactly,
then they can
and
find
they
it.
can click on raise funds for our startups, and we will be connecting with them.
Okay, and if they want to connect with you on LinkedIn, is that possible?
Of course.
Perfect. So that's Antoun Mawad on LinkedIn.
Yes, we are 24/7 investors.
That is amazing. So what do you invest in at 3 in the morning?
It's really
Well, you said 24/7. Did I misunderstood?
Wow. You're right. Like 18.7, 18.5.
All right, so you, I am funding an 18.5 VC. Connect with Antoun Mawad personally on LinkedIn. We're going to be back after. What's your favorite artist? I didn't ask you.
I like Coldplay. Yeah.
I think Lara likes Coldplay, right? We had such an amazing show today. I have Antoun Mawad with me, who is the Vice President of Investments for IM Funding. If you guys are trying to raise investment for your startup, check them out. Just Google IM Funding. You can see all of the details, and you can connect with Antoun Mawad on LinkedIn as well. Antoun, do you have any final piece of advice to people listening?
Yeah, of course. So usually I advise entrepreneurs to be likable, like be themselves for sure, tell their stories. It's a mix of like a presentation and like a story you could tell usually when you pitch. I tell them like taking money from a VC is not a walk in the park as well. So it's like, it could be like taking money from a friend or taking money from the mafia as well. But one last advice that I really like to tell them, it's like, you are not Steve Jobs, though you could be, but like be self-aware, be humble, and be likable.
And don't wear a turtleneck.
Don't
wear a turtleneck.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you have to do it your way, There was one Steve, by the way, I tell this to everyone. There was one Steve Jobs, there was one Richard Branson, one Bill Gates, one Warren Buffett, and then there's going to be one you, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be that version. And then
Exactly.
people would be like, oh, be like Antoun, be like Rida, be like Eddie, be like Lara. So be you and then do it your way. Let's listen to Do It My Way, and then we'll be back. We had such an amazing show today on AUB's Innovation Park with Virgin Radio. My name is Arthur. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Lemonade Fashion and the entrepreneur in residence of AUB's Innovation Park. The reason why I do this and the reason why AUB does this and why IM Capital was with us today in the show with Antoun Mawad, who's the Vice President of IM Funding, is because entrepreneurship plays a huge role in the economy. And it's our duty as entrepreneurs and creatives to actually come up with the biggest solutions. And once we do that, that actually helps everyone because we create a lot of jobs, we bring in a lot of money to the economy. And as entrepreneurs, our aim is to become global companies. And that is what AUB does really well. So with AUB, we actually support you. So we give you everything from guidance to advisors to one-on-one sessions. We connect you to investors like IM Capital, but we also help you scale globally. So we have partnerships in San Francisco, we have partnerships in the GCC and in Europe. We just opened our Cyprus campus as well, where we've sent a lot of entrepreneurs to get established there. Most of our startups actually raise investment, which is something very cool and very unique. If you want to see all of the details, go to our website. It's aub.edu.lb/IPark, or just Google AUB Innovation Park. You can see all of the details. So tune in next week, tune in every single week. We're going to keep on introducing you to the craziest people out there. And this show is brought to you by the Talal Al-Madiha Zein AUB Innovation Park. Have you ever wondered how ideas turn into successful businesses? Do you want to become an entrepreneur but don't know where to get started? Join me, Arthur, this Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on Virgin Radio Lebanon. Join me, Arthur, this Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. on Virgin Radio Stars, where I'm chit-chatting with the Vice President of Investments of IM Capital, Antoun Mawad.
Hey, this is Antoun Mawad. Make sure to tune in this Friday to
We're very interested.
Bad model. Hey, this is Antoun Mawad. I'm a startup investment specialist. Make sure to tune in this Friday and let's get you some money.
where we're chit-chatting about what it takes to raise investment, the whole journey of entrepreneurs. So make sure to tune in. This show is brought to you by the Talal Al Madiha Zein AUB Innovation Park.